second grade friends. I was just reading one of my favorite stories called A Fish in the Tree. What are some of your favorite books? I like some of those too. One of my favorite stories is called The Tortoise and the Hare. Do you have some favorite stories that you like? Those are some really good choices too. Today, we're going to be learning all about the stories that the Cheyenne Native Americans would tell. Let's go over our I can statements for today. Our first I can statement is I can explain the meaning behind the stories from the Cheyenne Native Americans. Our second I can statement is I can create a story to explain something in the style of the Cheyenne Native Americans. If you ever want to remember these I can statements, just check them out in the description box down below. Like us, the Cheyenne Native Americans loved stories, but they didn't write them down. Instead, they told them by memory. They would use their stories to teach lessons and to explain things that they saw in nature. They'd also use them to entertain each other. Isn't it interesting that we use our stories for these exact same reasons? Today, we're going to be listening to a story that was told by the Cheyenne people. This story is called The Quillwork Girl and Her 7 Brothers. While you listen, I want you to think about why the Cheyenne people told this story. Did they tell it to teach about something? To teach us a lesson? Or to entertain us? Let's get started with our story.
Have you ever seen the Big Dipper up in the sky? This is the Cheyenne story of how it came to be. There was once a girl known for her handiwork. She made beautiful embroidery decorated with porcupine quills. The people in her village knew her as Quillwork Girl. Quillwork Girl had no brothers and no suitors. So everyone was surprised when, out of the blue, she started making clothing for a man. It took her a whole month to sew and decorate the outfit, and when she was done, it was magnificent.
You know what magnificent means? That's right. It means something that's very fancy and detailed.
But Quillwork Girl wasn't finished. She sewed and embroidered 6 more sets of clothing, including one small outfit for a boy. "What are you planning to do with these clothes?" her mother asked. Quillwork Girl told her that she was going to live far away with 7 brothers. "Don't be sad," she said. "One day you will see me again with my brothers, and you will be very proud."
I wonder how she knows that she's going to live with 7 brothers. What do you think? Maybe we'll have to see. I was thinking she may have had a dream about it because I know that the Cheyenne people believed that their dreams could tell them something. Or maybe one of the elders told her.
So the girl packed up the clothing and left her village in search of her new life. Finally, she came to a river. On the other side, she saw a little boy. "I've been waiting for you," said the boy. "You are going to be my sister." The little boy loved his new clothes and his new sister. "I have 6 older brothers," he told her, "and when they come home from hunting, they are going to be very pleased to see you." Just as the little brother predicted, the brothers were overjoyed with their new sister, the clothes she had made for them, and the delicious dinner she cooked.
Do you notice how all of the boys also have long hair? That's because in the Cheyenne culture, especially back then, they would wear their hair long and sometimes in braids.
They all lived together happily until one day a bison calf appeared at the teepee. "We've heard about the wonderful new sister who has come to live with you," he said, "and we want her for ourselves." The little brothers said no and told the bison to leave. Bigger and bigger bison came with the same request, but the little brother turned them all down.
I wonder why these bison want the sister. Why do you think they want her? You could be right. Maybe they want her because they know that she can cook and take care of them, like she takes care of the brothers.
"We will never give our sister away," he said. Then one day they heard a thunderous pounding of hooves. Old Bull, the biggest and fiercest bison of all, was on his way. "Do something," Quillwork Girl begged her little brother. He pulled out his bow and shot an arrow into a nearby tree. The tree began to grow toward the sky, and the girl and her 7 brothers jumped into its branches just in time. But Old Bull was very strong. He butted his big head against the tree, and the tree began to sway. Little brother shot another arrow into the tree, and it grew even higher. Just as the tree began to fall, Quillwork Girl and her brothers jumped from the branches into the sky and became stars. They are still there today. Close to one of the big stars is a tiny star. That's the little brother and his beloved sister walking hand in hand.
That was such a good story. I wonder, do you think this story is a true story or is it made up? That's right, this is a made up story. Animals don't actually talk, and people don't turn into stars. Now remember, at the beginning of the video, I asked you to think about why the Cheyenne people would tell this story. Did they tell this story to teach us about something? To teach us a lesson, or to entertain us? That's right, this story teaches us about something. It teaches us about how they believe the Big Dipper was created. Also, it's entertaining, but that's just the cherry on top. Now that we've listened to a story together, I want you to listen to a story on your own. It's called The Great Race. And while you listen, I want you to think about why the Cheyenne people would tell it. Did they tell it to help explain something, or do they tell it to help teach a lesson? Once you're done listening, I want you to create your own story that can help explain something or to teach a lesson. You can do this by drawing it, writing it, or you can even act it out and film it. When you're done, I'd love for you to send it to your classroom teacher so I can take a look. I'd love to see it. It's time for me to go now, but I hope you all have a fantastic week and happy learning. Bye, friends.